Okay, so we're going to look at right triangle definitions of trigonometric functions. Now, we are going to consider a right triangle and regular old right triangle, and we're going to call an acute angle theta. So the sides are relative to theta. So the side directly opposite theta is the opposite side. The side touching theta that is not the hypotenuse is the adjacent side length. And of course, the hypotenuse is right here. So we have our ratios. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent. Now notice that the functions in the second column are reciprocals of the corresponding functions in the first. So cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. It's just the flip of sine. Secant is hypotenuse over adjacent. Cotangent is adjacent over hypotenuse. So if you can focus on these three and remember which ones of these connect back, they just flip the reciprocal, okay? So maybe you remember SOHCAHTOA. That might help. Sine, cosine, tangent, opposite and adjacent, using those letters to help you. We talked about this some already with our unit circle. So we're going to try to apply this then to our unit circle. How does this affect our unit circle? Well, let theta be the acute angle in the unit circle. Then the 6 trig functions of angle theta are defined as follows. Notice that the functions in the second column are still the reciprocals of the first. So let's think back to our unit circle. Okay, here's our unit circle, and here's our grid, right? We started developing our unit circle by doing triangles, right? And theta was right there. Now, when we did this, we found these points. Let's pretend this is the 30-degree angle for a second. And we found this to be the square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2, right? Well, what does that mean? Well, the height, the vertical component, is y, right? Remember this? And the horizontal component is x. All right? And the radius, maybe you remember this or not, but the radius of our unit circle is always just 1. So for whatever angle we did, the vertical was our y, the horizontal was the x, and the radius was always 1. And we did that for every angle around the circle. So keeping those three in mind, instead of doing opposite and adjacent, we're going to do y, x, and x, y, and 1, basically. All right? So let's apply this. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so y over 1, y over r, which just turns out to be y, right? Cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is a 1, so it turns out just to be x. The tangent is y over x. And then we do these other three, they're just the reciprocals. So when I do the reciprocal of y over r, I get r over y, which is just going to be 1 over y, right? R over x, so it's going to be 1 over x. And then this would be x over y. Okay? So knowing that, we can find our 6 trig ratios from our unit circle. Okay? So sine is y, cosine's x, tangent's y over x. Those are the things we got to remember, and then we can flip from there. So let's start with just pi over 6. Let me refresh you of the good old unit circle. And in this example, we're just going to look at the pi over 6 angle right here. Okay? Pi over 6, and we're going to apply our 6 trig functions. So the sine of pi over 6 is the y value, so it's 1/2, right? The cosine of pi over 6, what's the x value? It's the square root of 3 over 2. The tangent of pi over 6 is y over x. So we're going to be dividing fractions, right? So 1/2 divided by square root of 3 over 2. Well, that means I multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so I have 1 over the square root of 3. Well, you have to rationalize that. You can't leave it like that, right? So that will mean that the tangent of pi over 6 is the square root of 3 over 3. So there's our first three. There's 1, 2, here's 3. Now, cosecant of pi over 6 is going to be the reciprocal of our sine, right? Well, 1/2, you flip it over and you get a 2. Secant of pi over 6, okay, we have to flip here, so 2 over the square root of 3. We do have to rationalize that, so that becomes 2 square roots of 3 over 3. And the cotangent of pi over 6, now here's a trick. When you've had to do the rationalization of something, when you go to flip it back over, go back to the stage before you rationalize. Go to this one and flip it there. It'll save you a step. Otherwise, you rationalize it again. So when I flip over 1 over the square root of 3, I get the square root of 3. Okay? So there's cosecant, there's secant, and there's cotangent. All right? Now, hopefully that makes a little sense. Let's try the next one. The next one is asking us to look at pi over 4. So we're looking at this angle, square root of 2 over 2. So the sine of pi over 4 is the y value. So it's the square root of 2 over 2. The cosine of pi over 4 is the x value, square root of 2 over 2. The tangent of pi over 4, well, square root of 2 over 2 divided by square root of 2 over 2 is just 1. Makes it simple. Let's do the reciprocals. Cosecant of pi over 4, if I flip that over, I'm going to have to rationalize, right? So I end up with, that's going to be a 2, and that's a 2, so that's going to come up just the square root of 2, right? That's the cosecant of pi over 4. And then the secant, wouldn't it be the same since the sine is the same? So it's still the square root of 2. And the cotangent, well, when you flip over a 1, you still get a 1, right? So there you go. There's those 3. So you're going to begin to see patterns, just like we did in the unit circle, how it's very repetitive here. You're going to see patterns as you rationalize. What happens when you reciprocate the square root of 2 over 2? It always comes out the square root of 2. What happens when you reciprocate this square root of 3 over 3, like over here? You get the square root of 3. So there's a lot of patterns to this, and if you catch them, it makes this a lot simpler. Okay? Now, let's try one more. Theta is negative pi over 3. So we have to think, okay, where's negative pi over 3? Let's see, it's going in the negative direction, right? 1 pi over 3 down will give me this angle right here. Okay, I've identified it for you. I want you to try this on your own, now that we've identified it, and see if you can come up with the correct 6 trig ratios based on that angle. So pause the video, try it out, and then come back and see how you did. Okay, so here's the 6 trig ratios I got. Check your work, and let me know what questions you have when you get to class. Good luck. We'll see you then.